Dan Kessler, Kessler. First name is Dan. So about 8 or 9 years ago, we had just started our business, and it became apparent that while we had a good amount of business experience, it wasn't necessarily in the small business environment. And so we started looking for different ways to assist, whether it was through coaching or learning more about what we were doing. And we ran across Loral in a different event and spent a few minutes talking with her and realized that Loral's path really was the one we were looking for, not just for business development and understanding our business and making it grow, but also for kind of the culmination of everything. Our investments, our long-term financial goals, and how it all fit together. And so ultimately we signed up with Loral and started attending our first tables a number of years ago. Well, I think for this particular session, and by the way, every session has great lessons learned out of it, but in this particular session, I think the thing we picked up in here so far has been about the AI. We've always been kind of ahead of the technology curve in so many areas, and it's becoming apparent that when it comes to AI, we're really behind it. It is a force multiplier if used appropriately and properly for your business. There's also a lot of opportunity to waste time. But the thing is if you're able to harness the power of AI and put it to work for you in ways that free you up either to market the business or sell it or do other things, even if it's just client interaction, that's a really important aspect. It also means you can start to pass things to other members of the team, other employees. And so it's clear that we have a long ways to go. We have a lot to learn about, but it really gave us kind of an insight into what we need to protect and to work on more clearly to help protect our long-term business goals. So from the very beginning, we wanted, from a goal perspective, to better understand how to work our business in a way that really made sense, that we could grow the business. And of course, there's many aspects of business: financial management, marketing, operations, actual implementation of what you do. And we wanted to meld those all together, but also build a model within the business that grew year over year. We also wanted to build the business into something that we could literally sell when the day came. And it had to be something that other people could take over. And so our goal really was to take many different pieces out of the table. The other part of it, though, isn't just about our business. It's about our personal lives and being able to grow our investments, understand where those should be. From a business perspective, we've sought to build a business that has resiliency in an industry that a lot of times doesn't have resiliency. And the same thing applies to our own personal finances and our personal goals. We want to be able to have a resilient investment strategy, something that works today and for the future, and leads us to the path that when we start to pull back maybe from some of our business ventures or change those, we have the financial resources we need to do what we want to do. So financial freedom can mean a lot of different things. It really depends in some cases on the stage of your life. Right now, we certainly have achieved a certain level of it. We can go to things like the big table without giving much thought to it. But long term, when you start looking at financial freedom, it's really the ability to do the things you want to do, whether it's a vacation, whether it's invest in something, help the children out with things as they grow older, or work with charities and things of that nature. Everybody has things they would like to do, but in many cases, we're limited through our financial resources. And to some degree, we'll always be limited by financial resources unless we get into the billions of dollars. But in any event, people want to be able to do the things they want. And that's really what freedom is, and financial freedom is doing the things you want to do when you want to do them, without having to give it a significant amount of thought or concern, or knowing it's not going to impact your current or long-term financial status within, both personally and business-wise. So in terms of wealth building, prior to meeting Loral, I think we were very much in a traditional sense, where we would invest in mutual funds or ETFs. We had a financial advisor and didn't really see a lot of options outside of that. We knew that there were a lot of different things, but had no idea how to pursue them. And so I think, like a lot of Americans, we just pursued the standard ways. We've always been good at saving money, being frugal in what we do. And so with the big table, the value of this has been to be able to learn about other things. In the beginning, this was called, or not maybe the beginning, but a few years ago, this was referred to as off Wall Street. And the great thing about that is it kind of resonates in, well, what can we do other than that? And so we've been able to take our resources and put them into a variety of different things, learning different investment vehicles and finding ways to grow our wealth that actually makes it a less risky endeavor than just purely being in the stock market. Well, I think overall, in terms of how the big table has helped us the most, is it took a variety of ideas and paths that we were on years ago and helped consolidate them into a true path forward. We understand how personal lives interact with the business. We've learned how to live a corporate life. We can always improve that, and we continue to do so on a daily basis. but it's leading us in an appropriate path to help us achieve our long-term goals of financial freedom. And so every table we come to, there may be some redundancies, but the thing is, every time you listen to it, or every time you hear a new speaker, there's something new to learn from it that can be applied to your business, your investment strategies, or even your personal life. And so across the board, this has really impacted us in how we do our work with the business. It impacts our personal lives. And we've taken this and carried it on to our families as well, in terms of helping each of our families, try to get them to understand financial intelligence better, how they can utilize it. And so it's really been kind of a holistic approach that once we decided to do this, we wanted to implement it across the board. And we've done that. And we'll continue to do more of it. There's always more to do. There's always ways to improve. And we're always looking for those in order to make sure that this really is beneficial across the board.